right, we're going to do another empirical rule example. So we have a restaurant's lid supplier claims that the diameter of their large lids follows a normal distribution with a mean of 3.98 inches and a standard deviation of 0.02 inches. So this means when they manufacture their lids, this is like if you graphed the diameters of all of their lids, this is what it would look like. It's a normal distribution, so I'm going to go ahead and sketch it. I draw a number line and put 3.98, that's the mean. I'm going to put mu for mean right in the middle. And a normal distribution looks like a bell-shaped curve. The mean is in the center at like the highest peak. And it says the standard deviation is 0.02. So in a normal distribution, if you go, I'm just going to mark 3 standard deviations. I'm going to put 3 marks on each side of the mean to represent counting 3 standard deviations in each direction. And I'm going to label what those numbers are. So I'm going to take 3.98 and add a standard deviation, 0.02, and I get 4. And I'm going to add another standard deviation, another 0.02. And then one more standard deviation to the right, I'm going to add another 0.02. And then I'm going to go to the left and take 3.98, and if we take away one standard deviation, so 3.98 minus 0.02, and then subtract another 0.02, and then subtract another 0.02. Okay, so that's what we want to start off with first whenever we have problems like this, is draw a number line, put the mean in the middle, and then label 3 standard deviations in each direction. So I'm adding and subtracting whatever the standard deviation is, 0.02. Okay, so now it says for A, the middle 68% of lids have diameters between what values? So in a normal distribution, the middle 68% means 1 standard deviation from the mean. So every time there's a normal distribution, 1 standard deviation away from the mean, above the mean and below the mean is 68% of the values. So those, it says between which values? Is between 3.96 to 4 inches. Okay, now we're going to do part B. What percent of lids have diameters between 3.94 and 4.02? So then I just go down to my graph that I made, and I'm going to mark 3.94 to 4.02. So 3.94 is 2 standard deviations below the mean, and 4.02 is 2 standard deviations above the mean, which in a normal distribution is 95% of the data. So my answer is 95%. All right, now let's do C. What percent of lids have diameters between 3.92, that's here, and 3.98, that's the mean right in the middle. So I want just this area. Okay, if we were going, so it just asked for 3 standard deviations, 1, 2, 3 standard deviations below the mean, up to the mean. If we were going 3 standard deviations below and above, that whole distance is 99.7% of the values. But we only want half of that. So we want 99.7% divided by 2, which is 49.85%. Okay, and then part D, what's the probability that a randomly selected lid will have a diameter of at least 3.96 inches? So this is just different wording, essentially asking the same thing that the other ones were asking. It's just a different way of wording it. So instead of saying what percent of lids, what is the probability that a randomly selected lid, it means the same thing as the previous problems. So we'll have a diameter of at least 3.96. Okay, so I just erased the other stuff, and then 3.96 is here. It says at least 3.96. At least means that value or more. So we want everything after 3.96, the whole rest of the area. So what we're going to do is just break this up into sections. There's a couple different ways you could solve this problem. What I'm going to do is I know that if I am at the middle, 3.98 and above, that's 50%. So I know my answer needs to be at least 50%. Then I want to add this area, this other green section, and I know that one standard deviation lower than the mean and one standard deviation above the mean is 68%. But I only want half of that. So half of 68 is 34%. And then I'm going to add 50% plus 34%. So my answer is going to be 84% if I add those two sections together.